Millennials, what confuses you about Gen Z? Why are all the sneakers so bulky? Where are all the Gen Z celebrities? Apart from Tom Holland and Zendaya, I cannot think of a leading man or woman in Hollywood in their 20s. Ryan Gosling is playing Ken in the Barbie movie and he's 41. The fact they might think about the 90s the same way I thought about the 80s or 70s when I was a child of the 90s, a long time ago. How do all these young guys get their hair to look that way? That's super in right now. Are they out getting perms? They have a very weird and strange sense of humor. Like it's hard to articulate what it is exactly. But it's quite precise. What does based mean? Why are they all younger than me? Grow up. Why some of them act like they pioneered the social media influencer boom or look at me surprised because I have Snapchat, etc., even though many of these came out when millennials like me were in our early 20s and the core demographic. I'm 24, so what confuses me most is which generation I belong to. Grimacing face. Boomer humor, I hate my wife. Gen X humor, I hate everyone. Millennial humor, I hate my life. Gen Z humor, lemon. I'm only 26, so I guess I'm at the tail end of the millennial range and near the start of Gen Z. I've never understood the desire to copy those TikTok challenge trends. I coach lots of Gen Zers. What the fuck are their emails? I was working with a few to get something done, and instead of sending one email with the information, 3 separate people emailed one person random piecemeal information with zero context. I had to remind them that email is not text message and have all your ducks in a row before hitting send. For the love of God. Otherwise, nothing confuses me about them. Like caller 1. How incredibly tolerant they are of ads and being tracked constantly. As an older millennial, I find this funny. Half the shit people complain Gen Z for is shit people used to complain about millennials for. Contrary to popular belief, I don't think it is appropriate to jizz onto an ottoman. I'm Gen Z and I'm confused. Mom, look, I'm famous. Why does it seem like they all skipped the awkward phase? It's like they came out of elementary school knowing how to coordinate outfits and drink Starbucks. Do none of you realize putting your entire lives on the internet is going to come back to bite you in the ass someday? Why do the guys in your generation get haircuts that make them look like a head of broccoli? TikTok trends where they all go out to buy a particular item, then toss it and move on to the next thing. All generations had trends, but with social media, the turnover is a lot quicker. It's almost herd mentality. I don't understand why some hate millennials so much. I don't really care if they do, we're pretty used to it by now since we were blamed for killing everything. I just don't understand their reasoning behind it. I don't understand the rise of short-form content like TikTok and YouTube Shorts. I will happily have a 4-hour video up in the background while I do things, and the short-form content annoys me. Even my preferred viewing experience when I'm actively watching is around a half hour. I can only assume the Gen Z population is part of the reason for short-form content taking over, and I just don't see the appeal. For a generation that grew up with Internet 2.0 and was handed an iPad at age 5, I'm baffled by how unsavvy they are with very basic useful tech functions. How to effectively Google something and navigate the search results, how to troubleshoot internet connection issues, how to not believe 100 of what you see online, etc. They don't drink alcohol. I went to a college football game recently and I was really surprised by what I saw. Back in the 2010s you would see what seemed like everyone getting hammered in the AM. I'm talking shots at any bar you went to, doing pulls off liquor bottles on the street, whatever. It was routine to see people passed out places, getting loaded into ambulances, etc. Obviously none of this is good and I'm not encouraging any of it, but in my experience that's just what college football game day is like. Fast forward to the game I went to recently and my group were the most drunk number of people and drunk level I think I saw all weekend. I'm not bragging, just saying it's really strange to go into a college bar before the game and do a couple of shots while the kids these days look at you like you're crazy. We followed up with some research and apparently all of the stats back it up. With Gen Z it's official, alcohol isn't cool anymore, which is a good thing because it is absolutely terrible for a variety of reasons. This was opening day at an SEC school. Not exactly a backwoods Bible college. I should have been more clear on what I meant by drink alcohol. There were kids at bars and whatnot. The bars just weren't absolutely jam-packed with as many people as they could fit, trying to get blackout drunk as quickly as possible. In my era game day was literally everyone you know binge drinking x10. So many. Vapes. Weed isn't legal in this state, but who's really checking what's in any of those things? Why is the mullet coming back? Like, really? Why staring at the camera, doing nothing, and poorly lip-syncing a song is considered good content? Truth be told, nothing. Yeah, what they do confuses me, but I know I acted in the exact same manner when I was their age, or knew somebody that did. They're still developing and trying to navigate a world where technology is moving fast. They also haven't been knocked around by life enough to get it together. The fact that my whole life I was called a millennial until recently and now I'm suddenly a Gen Z born in '98. Lol at it, this keeps coming up, but I do remember 9/11. I was only 3, but I remember my mom yelling at the TV. I remember watching the planes crash. I remember asking if it was real or a movie. My earliest memories started at age 2, a little before maybe. It may sound ignorant, so I apologize, but when I was in HS, we hated being labeled. Now it seems people want their labels on display, whether it's sexuality or learning differences, etc. Ace, neurodivergent, etc. I respect it. I just remember not wanting to be boxed into labels. That they seem to idolize my childhood in the 80s and early 90s but don't do it. Like, Stranger Things is so cool, riding bikes, playing board games, arcades, absent parents, and yet they're on their phones watching it while texting with their parents about every single thing that happened in their day. We came home. How was school? Fine, I'm going out. Okay, dinner's at 6. What is the generation after Gen Z called? Are you okay? Anywhere I go to shop, y'all look miserable. I mean this in a genuine way, lol. I saw this yesterday. A bunch of teens came to the beach I was at. They proceeded to just pose while their friends took pictures of them. They even brought a football and instead of tossing it back and forth, they just posed with it. They then uploaded it to whatever social media, packed their shit and left. The whole thing must have taken 10 minutes. I was just confused. I understand the irony of posting this on a social media, but these guys totally missed the point of going to the beach and hanging out with friends. Why do all of you claim to be shy, antisocial, and don't want to be the center of attention, all while posting every single selfie, dance video, etc. of yourself online constantly? Edit, don't have TikTok, sorry kiddos. Why so many of them don't know how to properly Google something? You'd think people that grew up with Google would know the basics. Not gonna lie, some of the diet stuff really confuses me. It seems so much more prevalent with that generation that the list of what they can't don't eat is longer than what they do. Some of the esoteric memes, as well as the popularity of TikTok. I mean, TikTok and these shorts knockoff just seem like a bit of a shitty format. And in terms of content creators, they seem to have a pretty high Wangsta population. I overall respect Zoomers, but I don't understand the mom genes. I don't understand why people fake mental disorders to get views on TikTok. The fact that they like calling, as long as it's video calling. As a millennial, I do everything I can to avoid making phone calls, or answering them. Gen Z's literally video calls, send video messages instead of texting like a normal introvert. Woman shrugging. How they got so good at maintaining houseplants so young. Almost every younger team member I've ever worked with had these overflowing lush desks, and would chuckle when you admire them and say something like, "Oof, it's a bit of an addiction, you should see my Adu. Hey, looks like you need some African violet food for your buddy, you can borrow mine." I couldn't keep a houseplant alive until I was almost 30. The term based. With all this, everyone is fighting their own battles and it's okay to not be okay rhetoric. Y'all really like pointing out particular traits of mental illness and making fun of others for it. Like, living in your head rent-free, you really a X doing Y? Yikes, etc. Nothing, I just noticed that everything has become exceedingly superficial now. Even the nerds and outcasts Gen Zs are very much into their looks based on what's popular on social media. I found out the other day that they think GIFs are for boomers, which shook me. It was the first time I could truly relate to the Abe Simpson line. I used to be with it, but then they changed what it was. Now what I'm with isn't it anymore, and what's it seems weird and scary. It'll happen to you. Your eyes see in landscape. Your TV is in landscape. Movie theater screens are in landscape. But every GD video you make is in portrait for some reason. These dang kids today.
I hope you all are doing well, and thanks for watching. Don't forget to like if you enjoyed this video. If you have something to say critically or otherwise, leave a comment. And if you enjoy this content, don't forget to subscribe to see more of it. I hope you all have wonderful and fulfilled lives.